Hey everyone, Robert Ferringo of DocSports here with an NFL free play video. Be sure to check us out at DocSports.com and make sure to like and subscribe to the DocSports YouTube channel. If you are looking for winning NFL picks, go over to Docs. We have the best team of handicappers on the interweb. And I throw myself in there and include myself as one of the top football handicappers. I've posted 9 of 14 winning football weeks, including last weekend. And if you go over to Docs and find my insiders page, my track record really speaks for itself. I'm having a winning season so far this year, and I plan on continuing and adding to that this weekend, including with my 7-unit college football play on Saturday that I'm very, very excited about. Also, if you want basketball picks, that also happens to be a specialty of mine, use the promo code RFHOOPS10. That's RFHOOPS10. That'll get you 10% off either of my college basketball or NBA packages, and that's good for daily, weekly, monthly, or full seasons package. And yes, you can use that free 60 link down in the description that takes you to Docs to give you $60 to use same as cash. You can use the free $60 and the 10% off in conjunction with one another towards any of my basketball service. Again, that's RFHOOPS10. Okay, today we are talking the game that's just on everybody's mind coming into Week 11, and that is the Houston Texans -7 at the Tennessee Titans. This one kicks off at 1 p.m. on Sunday. So, okay, with Tennessee, it's kind of obvious, right? Like why? Why would we bet on the Tennessee Titans? Well, they are coming off a bye. So the first question that you have to ask yourself is, how is Mike McCoy out of a bye? Now, first of all, I bet you forgot that Mike McCoy is the interim head coach for Tennessee. They fired their head coach earlier this season. Second of all, I bet you forgot that Mike McCoy was a head coach in the NFL before. That's right. He did a 4-year stint in then San Diego with the Chargers. I think it was 2010 to 2013 were his 4 seasons. But yeah, so Mike McCoy is 2-2 straight up and against the spread out of a bye. At least that's how he was with the Chargers. So no benefit there. But those are the types of little stones that you have to turn over as a handicapper to see if you can find an edge with something like that. Unfortunately, we didn't. But now you have to ask yourself, did the Titans get better over their bye week? Is there any reason to suggest that they're going to be competitive in this game? For me, the first key to look at is Jeffrey Simmons. He is a defensive tackle. He's one of the best defensive players in football. He's kind of like Max Crosby, Trey Hendrickson, these guys that are like elite level players on really awful teams and awful defenses. So you don't think of Jeffrey Simmons as one of the best in the league, but he absolutely is. He's missed the last couple of games, and they're just not the same defense, and frankly, not the same team without him. Again, think Max Crosby. When he's on the field for the Raiders defense and when he's not on the field for the Raiders defense, two completely different animals, right? Now, Houston is coming off this game after a wild come-from-behind win at home against Jacksonville. A season saver, because if they had lost that game, they would have fallen to 3-6, and their odds of making the playoffs would have been almost nil. Now they're sitting at 4-5. They came back and won that game. And not only did they win, but they got the miracle cover against the spread last week against the Jags. It was 30-29. Houston had overcome a 19-point fourth quarter deficit to lead by 1. They were laying 1.5 to 2.5 points. The line was kind of moving, but Houston was favored. Then on the last play of the game, was a fumble or an interception, regardless. Turnover, Houston defensive player runs it back for a touchdown. 36-29 Texans. They win, they cover. Season is saved, right? Well, maybe. It's not saved if they lose this game. I do think that win gives them a little bit of momentum coming into Tennessee. And if you remember, Houston beat the Titans 26-0 earlier this season. Houston's 5-1 straight up and against the spread over the last six meetings. So they have really dominated this bad Titans team over the last few years. I think that Houston's defense is just going to be way too much for Tennessee. And I also don't know what the Titans' motivation is. They had that week off for the bye. These guys are 1-8. Do you think they spent that bye week just like really grinding down, digging in on how they're going to play out the string and not make the playoffs and be one of the worst teams in football? Do you think all those players were like focused and motivated? Or do you think that they just like kind of pissed off and used it as a vacation week, spent time with the family, went golfing, went to Vegas? I don't know what football players do on their bye week, but I am guessing that this Titans group didn't spend a lot of time focusing on the Titans. So I think that they're going to be sloppy and lifeless coming out of this bye. I think that Houston is too much defensively, and they have too much to play for. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the 7 points on the road with the Houston Texans. So that's it for today. Be sure to check back later for more NFL free plays. Until next time, carpe diem and good luck.